Hey fam, welcome back to Tari's Lifestyle Vlog, and thank you so much for stopping by. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about the UK government's plan to make it harder and more difficult for foreigners to become British citizens. Okay, so this is a news that I've just seen it on the news, on the Daily Mail, and I thought I would hint to you about it before it actually comes into effect. And recently, we also know that there's been some changes in the students and dependent visa, which we talked about long before it happened, and now they're talking about the British citizenship, and something is going to happen. We need to be kept informed so that when these changes come into effect, we're not taking unawares. Okay, but my name is Tari, and on this channel we talk about UK visas and immigration. We talk about life in the UK, how to safely and successfully travel to the UK, and how to navigate through life as an immigrant living in the UK. So if this sounds like something you're interested in, then please subscribe. Turn on your bell icon so you don't miss out on any of my videos going forward. And subscription is free for those of you that are wondering, okay? Well, thank you so much for stopping by. So I recently bumped into a news that says that the UK government, the UK Home Office, is trying to make it harder for foreign nationals to become British citizens. So an article which I'm going to read to you, it says foreigners might have to wait longer to become British citizens under plans to make the UK seem less of a soft touch on immigration. So apparently they feel the UK is soft touch when it comes to immigration, therefore they're wanting to introduce rules to make it a bit tougher, to be in line with other countries. We know that at the moment, to become a British citizen, first of all, you need to have an indefinite leave to remain. And to have an indefinite leave to remain, you need to have been in the UK for at least 5 years. Okay, so if you've been in the UK for at least 5 years, you can apply for an indefinite leave to remain, unless you're going through the long residence route, which is 10 years. Okay, but for the other one, 5 years, you get your indefinite leave to remain, and then you can apply for your citizenship afterwards. But they're saying they're wanting that the foreigners might have to wait a bit longer. Okay, I'll read the article for you so that we can just go through it together. Okay, so it says foreign nationals could have to wait longer to become British citizens under plans to make the United Kingdom appear less of a soft touch on immigration. Mail on Sunday, understand, which is today. It's Sunday today, and this article was published today, the third, is it third or fourth? It was published the 4th of June 2023, which is today, so it's actually very new. Okay, so all of these officials are considering bringing the UK closer in line with other countries by extending the criterion of continuous residence from 5 years to 8 years before they grant an indefinite leave to remain, which is the first step towards citizenship. Remember, I said to become a British citizen, you first need to have an indefinite leave to remain for 1 year. Afterwards, you can apply for your British citizenship. And it used to be 5 years, but they are thinking of actually increasing it from 5 years to 8 years, which is an additional 3 years that someone would have to wait before they can have that indefinite leave to remain. I don't know how they're going to do it. I don't know what the plan is, but this is what they're just talking about. They're talking about it at the moment. Okay, so nothing has been agreed yet, but like the UK students and dependent visa, it went on for a while before it was actually put into effect, coming from January 2023. And if you haven't seen that video, I'll put it up here so you can have a look and see what we're talking about, the changes that's come into effect in terms of the UK students and dependent visas. Okay, so what they're saying, like I said, is from 5 years to 8 years, which is not, again, it's not palatable. It's not the best thing we want, because it means that you're going to wait longer, basically, to become a British citizen. Okay, so other changes being considered include requiring applicants to have worked or been at school in the UK for 2 years. Okay, so which means that you either must have been working for 2 years, or you'd have been in school for 2 years, and things like that. So which means really they want you to have been contributing to the society, because if you're going to be in school in the UK, you're going to have to pay for your fees, because you won't be entitled to free education like a British citizen would be. So they want to make sure that you would have been in school for at least 2 years, or you would have been contributing in way of employment by working in the system, paying your taxes and all of that. Okay, so it also says a strict threshold for criminality, such as demanding that an applicant must have been conviction free for at least 10 years. Okay, so they want to make sure that there's the person has not committed a crime, the person has been convicted, conviction free for 10 years. If you're going to be in the UK for 8 years before you apply, which it will be 8 years, okay, you need to be conviction free. Okay, but that doesn't mean that if you've had if you committed an offense, committed a crime, therefore you won't be able to apply. You will have to apply and kind of explain the circumstances for your offense, your crime, or whatever, and maybe you could be allowed to get your British citizenship. Okay, it says also removing the exemption for the over 65s from the knowledge test about British life. So at the moment, if you're over 65, you won't have to carry out the life in the UK test. We know that before you can before you can have indefinite leave to remain in the UK, you must do a test which is known as the life in the UK test. So it's just about life in the UK, about the UK generally, what you know about the UK, the culture, the history, and all of that. And so you have to do that before you get your indefinite leave to remain. So it's one of the requirements. You have to do the test and then include it in your application. But for the over 65, certain group of people are exempted from this test, and these people, one of these categories are those that are over 65. But at the moment, they are proposing that these people would no longer be exempted. So they want to remove this exemption basically from the people that are carrying out the life in the UK test. Okay, so these are some of the changes that have been proposed, and one of the reasons is because the Prime Minister Rishi Sunak has made toughening up of immigration policies one of his key priorities. So it's top of his priorities to tighten immigration laws. Okay, I don't know why this is, because if someone is already in the UK, you're contributing to the system, why they would want to increase the number of years from 5 to 8? I don't see it. I don't know why, but that's what they are saying. And we know that they're trying to cut down on immigration, on net migration drastically, which they're doing. They've removed they're trying to stop people from coming into the UK on small boats, detaining them as they come in. I've got a video about it on my channel. They've stopped dependent visa for international students. I've also got a video on that. So for people that are coming in, they're trying to reduce it, and now they're saying that for those that are already in the UK, they will have to wait longer to get their British citizenship. I don't understand why that should be part of their policies, but that's what they're saying. Okay, so that's just the update. Those are the key changes that have been proposed. And it says the government source said becoming a UK citizen is a privilege, not a right. Okay, those awarded the status should have earned it by contributing to our nation, and it's important we can all speak to each other in common tongue, i.e. life in the UK and all of that, and test. You need to have contributed to the system. I'm just thinking, what about people that can't actually work because of a disability, or people that can't go to school for one reason or the other? What would happen to them in that instance? That's me just thinking aloud before it actually happens. These are just some of the changes, increasing the number of years from 5 years to 8 years. Number 2, that you need to have been contributing to the community, to the society, either by working or by schooling. Increasing the threshold of criminality, i.e. you won't have a criminal record for at least 10 years. And when you're working, back to my previous point, for at least 2 years, okay, working or schooling for 2 years, okay, and then criminality, no criminal record for at least 10 years, and also removing the thresholds, removing the exemption on those that are over 65 from carrying out their life in the UK test. So these are just some of the changes. We're just talking about them now before it actually happens. I hope this video is helpful to someone. If it has helped you, give it a thumbs up, share with your friends and family, and of course subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so. If you have any questions, any video suggestions, please leave them in the comment section and I'll do my best to answer them for you. And subscription is free, I don't say that, but thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.